Look. Oh, shit. It's foaming up. Hey, I'm not doing crack cocaine. I am drinking beer. And according to Hunter Biden, crack would be cleaner.
No. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, because they think cocaine, Scarface, very cool. Yeah. Crack cocaine, they think The Wire.
Oh, in that sense? Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't know how similar the chemical compounds are.
Oh, the only difference between crack cocaine and cocaine is sodium bicarbonate and water and heat, literally.
That's it?
That's it.
And those things are pretty much free if you go to, like, a science store.
This is free. You can go to your neighborhood convenience store and just get. Anyway, I don't want to tell people how to make crack cocaine, but it literally is a mayonnaise jar, cocaine, and baking soda.
How different is the experience?
It's vastly, vastly different. And like for real, I feel really reluctant to kind of have some euphoric discussion. I know you're not asking me to do that, but have some euphoric discussion about crack cocaine.
I think this might be kind of the opposite here.
Okay, no, it's the exact opposite. I'm saying I don't want to have the experience of some euphoric recall. That's how powerful crack cocaine is. Does crack cocaine make you act any differently? No.
And now I want to try crack after listening to this Hunter Biden interview. Welcome, everybody. Friday night. What's going on? Craziness. Everyone's dying. Like the guy from the Cosby Show, he went on a swim, disappeared. Ozzy Osbourne, I guess he decided to stop being woke. And then we got Mr. Hulk Hogan over here, the only one that I actually think is pretty cool of the three. I mean, I don't mean to diss Mr. Huxtable. He seems like a good guy, and it was a really sad accident. But as for Ozzy Osbourne, he deserves all the roasting he could possibly get. First, starting with his daughter, who was like, nobody make fun of my fucking father, me, like 3 days before he died. And she was like, there is no suicide pact with my mom. That's wrong. And my dad is not dying. Now he's dead. 3 days later, now he's dead. And you want to know why I'm being mean? Being a little mean? I'm not being a bully. I'm not like, ha, 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 your dad's dead. Well, sort of. But like, they kind of deserve it. Because that family ruined Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne in 1982 did an interview where he said that the artist he identified with the most was Adolf Hitler. In 2008, the song Iron Man was sampled by Kanye West for what is considered one of the greatest albums of all time, My Dark Twisted Fantasy. Kanye wanted to use Iron Man again for his latest #1 hit song, Carnival. These hoes wanna fuck my car. My dog put a nigga in park. Gotta watch out for the dogs. This the Game of Thrones. Yeezy not the clones. Elon with my rocket ship. It's time to go home. They served us the pork since the day we was born. Anybody pissed off? Gotta make a drink the urine. Now I'm Ye Kelly, bitch. Now I'm Bill Cosby, bitch. Which would have been Ozzy's last #1 hit. But Ozzy put out a statement on Facebook last year, or I think this is almost 2 years ago now when this happened, condemning Kanye West and saying he wants nothing to do with him. So it was okay to use Iron Man in 2008. It's not okay to use Iron Man now. The reason, I guess, is because Kanye's a Nazi now, but Ozzy's been a sympathizer of Adolf Hitler since 82, so...
All right, we have to acknowledge it without acknowledging it.
Go on.
Because everyone went nuts for what happened with Yeezy. Mm-hmm. So where is that at now, and what do or don't you want to say?
He eventually pulled it.
Yeah.
And that's all we have to say. We just didn't want to be associated with anything with him because of his stance on
current issues,
which are very important to me and your dad. And we didn't want to have any association with anybody like that. And that's it, the end of it. Okay. Next.
it's just really funny when you see a family plea and grab and latch on and fucking ruin somebody's artistic legacy so that they have no principles left over because all that anybody's worried about is making sure that they can pay the fucking taxes and the real estate on the mansion for the children. It's bullshit. Ozzy should have been fucking having Kanye at that last concert. He should have been producing the goddamn thing. Speaking of wild things, though, this Hunter Biden interview. At first, I thought it was a distraction from both sides to get us away from Epstein. But then I realized that the media does not want to cover this either. It's a wild one. The man says, he makes some great points. Like one of the best points he makes, which is like him being in charge of Burisma, you're like, either he is a evil genius or he's a son crackhead. Like, pick one. And I love that he said that. That is very fucking accurate. It was cussing, swearing about El Salvador. It was a 3-hour interview. I didn't see all of it. I did see some clips later of him in the garage where he says that if there weren't minors on Epstein's Island, it would be a wonderful place to go. He then is like, oh man, you caught me on that one. He's a fun guy. And I think, here's the deal. The Democrats already didn't let the outsider in when Bernie came in 2016. They fundamentally shut it down again in 2020 when they could have went with Bernie instead of Biden and went with Biden instead. They put Biden in the White House. They destroyed the whole fucking thing. They lost to Trump again. It's all over. They now need to be honest. So if Hunter Biden somehow, some way, gets his way onto that primary stage, not only can he blow up some other politician's game, but he could very well take the whole thing. Because this is exactly what happened in 2016 with Trump, is that the Republicans felt like they had no other choice than to allow him to take over the party. And that's what will happen if Hunter Biden runs in the primary, because he will talk shit about everybody. He'll swear, he'll cuss. There'll be no bounds. There'll be no way of doing anything. And then when people are like, well, is he qualified? Yeah, he's got all the left-wing check boxes. I mean, he was a fucking Ivy League graduate. He fucking was in charge of the World Food Bank for 3 years during Obama. He's like an adjunct professor of major universities. He's got all of it. He's got the same shit Newsom's got, except man did crack. Man is honest about crack and said that alcohol is much worse. He's recovered from both, and he's having fun with it. And if you're having fun with it, I say, fuck it, let's let him in. You want to know why we should let him in? Because this Epstein thing ruined Trump. It just completely ruined him. He can't get back from it. He thinks he can just breeze it aside. You can't. And it was the nail in the coffin, the concrete proof that this is never going to go away. And that this might very well actually be the end of Trump for all of those of you that are praying for it. South Park having an AI, realistic Donald Trump in the desert, naked, wandering, showing a little tiny penis on cable television. Who still watches cable television? I don't know, but they didn't put the South Park episode on fucking Paramount Plus until Thursday. So I guess it's for the 3 people from Variety that still have a cable hookup. To us, we had to wait until today, and we got all the drops from yesterday on it, where it was like, oh, look what they did with Donald Trump. Look at this little segment in the White House. Yeah, they did some Saddam Hussein, Donald Trump stuff. All satirically brilliant. If you watch the episode as a whole, you'll know that. It's not some garbage. The White House made a comment on this episode of South Park and said the show hasn't been relevant for 20 years. I would say you haven't been relevant for 20 years, White House. And it's all falling fucking down for you. If you keep lying and saying things that are clearly funny aren't funny, or Epstein list isn't here when it's here, just bullshit things that we all know you're lying about. And then the satirical brilliant minds of Trey Parker and Matt Stone explain to us Republicans, look what you're doing. And then we literally watch that, and then you say, that's not true, it's bullshit. And it's like you're fucking parroting yourself inside the show. The only person that's allowed to hate South Park is Kanye West, because Kanye West fundamentally can't get it, because if he got the joke, then none of the rest of us would get it. That's the point of Kanye West. He can't get the fucking joke. He's got to just have the fish sticks in his mouth. But as for Trump, he's supposed to be our leader. He's supposed to be the people's leader. You know, the Joe Rogan, the fucking bullshit. And speaking of, like, Coffeezilla tearing it up left and right down the internet, just murdering it day after day on this Epstein thing. Soon as he did an Epstein video, it's like, that's not the guy you want against you. You do not want Coffeezilla against you. And then Coffeezilla, just yesterday, fucking exposing Tim Dillon. Like, yeah, he still stayed on Tim Dillon's side only because Tim Dillon said the right things and said they need to release the files. But Coffeezilla did expose Tim Dillon, made Tim Dillon look like a shill. Because why are you going to this fucking dinner, Tim Dillon? Yeah, you have your own independent thoughts and opinions. But it's kind of like if you were like bombing the children in Gaza, then coming back and being like, I hate Israel. If you're doing the task, you can't comment on the task and say you're not part of it. You're at the fucking lobster dinner with fucking crazy-eyed Cash and probably fucking Andrew fucking Schultz. And now I'm starting to believe that there might actually be an inside to this whole thing. Or an inside that you guys are creating since the inauguration. Is this inside actually Elon Musk? Was he bullshitting in May? Or was there actually... Oh, wait. Look at that. Pam Bondi says that she told Donald Trump he was in the Epstein files in May. I don't know. You can say Elon's going off. He's crazy. Or that he knew something. And now you have Joe Rogan with the shittiest, stupidest, most retarded fucking clip looking like a shill sitting there interviewing fucking Kash Patel. Almost 150,000 views on YouTube of me doing the comment on that. But it is the most embarrassing moment in Joe Rogan history. Because, like, not only does he not push him, which he explains later, he's like, well, what are I supposed to do? Push him? Yeah, you're supposed to push him. He's a fucking FBI director. You're not supposed to hang out with him. You're supposed to ask him fucking questions. You're paying him. You pay a lot of taxes, Joe Rogan. You pay a lot for him. Everyone else on your show, you talk about how you need to talk to these people. Then you can ask them questions, and you're like, let me feel comfortable. And then this motherfucker over here, I don't need to say that. I don't need to say that. Fucking, even Joe Rogan, like, if you want to defend him on that merit, you can't defend him on the comment he made right before it, which was, somebody needs to take his phone away. In reference to Elon Musk saying that Trump is on the Epstein files. Now we're here 2 months down the road. It looks like Elon wasn't fucking lying. It looks like that wasn't just some troll or wrestling move or attack like Joe Rogan and Kash Patel both tried to dismiss on that show less than a month ago. It's not dismissed. He's on the files. This is not a Nixon scandal. This is much bigger. This is a fucking lobotomy. This is a lose 49 out of 50 states. This is win Massachusetts only territory here, people. This is a reverse Richard Nixon. This is a landslide victory for any fucking liberal candidate. If you keep running this agenda that, like, we don't like South Park, that we don't think Hunter Biden's cool, that you're not on the Epstein files, what is this nonsense? Embrace it. Go back on Joe Rogan. Yes, I was on the files. Yes, it was a good time. Went there with Bill Clinton. Smoked some fucking weed. I know I said I did no drugs. Fucking lied. I'm a human. That's politics. Did I fuck any kids? No. I believe that Donald Trump probably didn't fuck any kids. Because Donald Trump, like, is into, like, really big titty women that look like 40. It's tough, though, because the 80s and 90s, any of these guys could have been a fucking underage pedophile criminal. The world was your oyster before fucking Weinstein. Your world was your oyster before fucking Trump grabbed him by the pussy. Access Hollywood, still a thing, I think, but Entertainment Tonight canceled after 32 years. Oh no, must be a right-wing conspiracy. Donald Trump must shut him down like Stephen Colbert. They're trying to silence Stephen Colbert. You know what's really funny? That South Park episode literally is poking fun at the fucking idiots as well that are saying Stephen Colbert was canceled for Donald Trump. Like censorship. It's doing both sides at the same time. Because at the beginning of the episode, when Eric Cartman is walking through his day going, I can't believe they canceled that. That was the funniest show ever. Who doesn't think that that's a funny show? A bunch of transgenders and a da-da-da-da-da-da. As if he, the Republican audience, looking at a show that's that liberal and woke is somehow funny. Now, they tied that into the NPR budget thing, so a lot of people over their heads. But that was clearly a reference to Stephen Colbert and the fact that his show is inherently left-wing. It's like, oh, yeah, damn, why would they cancel that? It seems like the funniest show ever. You laugh when he gets done making that statement as Cartman. Why? Because not only is it because Cartman is a Republican watching a liberal show, but also because you're like, who would watch that? That is silly to think that somebody would watch that. At the end of the episode, they have Jesus. Don't get sued. Remember, this is Paramount. A lot of liberals have leaned on that ending as if South Park is somehow scared of fucking Paramount or Donald Trump. They brilliantly, in 22 to 24 minutes, explain to the world why Stephen Colbert sucks and should have been canceled, and also how Donald Trump is the biggest baby and most likely a pedophile with a tiny penis. They did all of that in 22 minutes. And here I was thinking it was crazy that Paramount was going to cancel old episodes of the show that they produced because of wokeism or whatever the fuck, while this episode is saying woke is dead. And then at the same fucking time, paying them $50 million an episode for these episodes. $50 million an episode. An episode. The budget of the entire movie Get Out from Universal. One episode of South Park. That's why they're able to put Donald Trump fat, naked, walking through the desert with a tiny penis to end the episode in realistic, full motion. AI is real. South Park just did probably one of the best examples of it. And yeah, sue them. Or just be like, they're irrelevant for 20 years. And then you're going to lose. You're going to lose. It's going to be a lobotomy. It's going to be a literal lobotomy. You're going to lose because you got a lobotomy, because you don't understand. How did you fuck this up? You had the culture and you lost it. It's really fucking going to be fun, though, to see all the flailing idiots that were all on one side, team free speech, and now they got to all figure out where they actually belong. Like Charlie Kirk's like, let's just stay on agenda. Nick Fuentes picking up new fucking followers left and right. Same thing. Same thing over on the comedy front. You got fucking Tim Dillon. I was at this dinner. Okay, Mr. Tim Dillon. Okay, Mr. Tim Dillon. And then you got Andrew Schultz. I can't believe I fucking sold out my crowd. Let's break this shit down. This is fucking bullshit. You can go one way or the other. You can go to dinner with them and then try to figure it out later. Or you can say that they lied to you. Or you can make fun of them and put a little tiny penis on the screen. No matter what it is, today is in memory of one man, the Hulkster, Mr. Hulk Hogan. No, I never watched Hulk Hogan's sex tape, nor would I. I have more respect for Hulk Hogan. My number one memory of Hulk Hogan is him getting speared by Goldberg in WCW. Also, Hulk Hogan, really cool during the fucking 90s when Orlando was blowing up. It was really sad. It kind of made me cry. Like going to Universal or Orlando now, it's so commercially like international now. It's like, it's very much like, let's get the tourists in, let's get the tourists out, let's keep them on the hotel chain, let's keep them on the fucking path, get them all the fucking, book them all the rides, book them all the food, and you're back in fucking Tokyo. Oh, you want to go again? There, we have one in Tokyo for you. It's just all garbage. Back in the 90s, though, fucking Hollywood studio, Disney. God damn. That's still my favorite theme park, Hollywood studio. Is that what it's called now, Hollywood studio? It was called MGM back then. Because MGM was in charge. And, was it Todd Warner? Tim Warner? Ted Warner? Whatever the fuck his name is. Ted Warner, yeah. Ted Warner. Wanted to show up that Vince McMahon and make everything awesome in the fucking wrestling sphere. And, God, just to cut back to those live nights of WCW at MGM Studio with Hulk Hogan. That's the fucking coolest thing. The Summer Splash, Summer Slam with the water around the ring. Titties everywhere, and I'm only 10 years old, and I don't know why. There's like a whole bit about like some lady's vagina, and she's just got paint on. And then like my two favorite guys, they come out, and they're like, suck it. No, that was WWF, and that was, you know, it kind of makes sense now that we saw that Vince McMahon documentary. Kind of all makes sense why they were doing that. Should have, I mean, they won the ratings war. Tits and suck it win the ratings war. But WCW is cool. Hulk Hogan. Oh, yeah. Here's Ron DeSantis expressing his memories of Hulk Hogan, and then a liberal interrupts him, asks him a serious question about a fucking alligator Alcatraz.
As a young kid, like, you know, I'm growing up and it's like, you know, that was like somebody's like, wow, that's our superhero kind of deal. And the fact that he was from a Tampa Bay area when I'm growing up there, I was like, oh my gosh, like this guy lives in our area. And, you know, back then when they would do these big events like WrestleMania, you could go to it, which obviously I wasn't in a position to be able to go to. But they didn't have even pay-per-view where you would pay for it to come on the cable. They had closed circuit. So you could go to like a venue and they would play it on like a really big screen. And so like the first few WrestleManias, I think, were like that. And I remember WrestleMania 3. He was up. Hey, stop. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. So you used to have the closed circuit. So you would go and you would have that.
You can leave, sir. Ron DeSantis was here to do an hour-long memorial for Hulk Hogan. He was not here to answer. Oh, he was supposed to be answering questions as the governor. He's the governor of your state. He's actively in front of a podium because he's the governor. I thought he was doing the eulogy for Hulk Hogan. My bad. Up next, Donald Trump, trying to distract himself from Epstein still, back at his old stomping grounds. He's going to go on an excavation. He's going to make himself look like a real estate guy again. You know, put the builder hat on, be like, and he's here with the Fed chair, Jerome Powell. And if you know anything about your nerd friends, any of your friends over at the Morning Brew or cryptocurrencies, they'll like act like there's feuds and Jerome Powell, what are you gonna do? You're gonna lower the interest rate? The rest of us don't give a fuck because none of us are buying houses. We're like, can you lower the interest rate at McDonald's, please? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, okay, well then, fuck. So here he is, and reporter's like, hey, you got anything to say to the Fed chair while he's here? He's like, yeah, I got fucking one thing to say.
Mr. President, are there things the chairman can say to you today that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism?
Well, I'd love him to lower interest rates. Other than that, what can I tell you? The country is doing really well. I just briefed the chairman on the deal we made with Japan. Japan is putting up $550 billion in order to lower their tariffs a little bit. That way they have a little bit lower tariff. And they also opened their country to free trade, which nobody thought was even a possibility. And we get a zero tariff in the free trade. We don't pay tariffs, and they're going to pay 15% on everything they send into our country, so it's great. But they put up, as you could call it, seed money. Let's call it seed money. You could call it anything you want, but it's a total of $550 billion So nobody thought any of that was possible, and it's wonderful. And we're doing pretty well with the European Union, likewise, and we have some others. They're all really big, and our country's going to make a lot of money. We would be helped if interest rates would come down, but we're going to see how the board rules on that soon. I'd love to see them come down a lot, but we have a country that's thriving. We had a dead country 1 year ago. Today we have the hottest country anywhere in the world, and we'll get this one finished.
Level the interest rate. That was the heaviest pat on the back I've ever seen. But did you immediately see how Jerome Powell started like looking up in the air like a fucking crazy? Like, I gotta get how do I get my fucking mind out of here? Well, it didn't stop there. Apparently they got in an argument.
So we're taking a look, and it looks like it's about 3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Yeah, it just came out.
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well.
3.1.
3.2. This came from us?
Yes. I don't know who does that.
You're including the Martin renovation. You just added
our entire capital.
Yeah, you just added in a third building is what that is. That's a third building.
Well, no,
the
but
Martin building.
it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work.
But
So,
it's not new.
That was fucking crazy amazing. It's like, check out the new numbers. I have them here in my pocket. Guy literally is like, it's my fucking job. I guess I'll read these. Reads them and is like, sir, you just made that up. Clearly. And he's like, yeah, but we made it up to make it better. Yeah, but you still made that up, sir. Like, everything about Trump is becoming fucking ridiculous. Hunter Biden 2028. Kanye West 2028. I don't fucking know. Blow the fucking system up. I'm done. We're going to try to reconform. We're going to try to fucking vote for another Joe Biden. Oh, can we get another nice guy, please? We have this guy to tear down the system, and he's just fucking stealing it from us. But don't worry. Before they left, Donald Trump wanted to let you know, no update on Epstein, but Russia hoax. Definitely fucking real cool shit there, right?
I don't think so.
Investigate the newly declassified documents by Gabbard.
Yeah, that's a terrible thing. I have great respect for Tulsi and the documents they found on President Obama. Frankly, it was an Obama thing, but it was the people that worked under him also working with him. And no, it's a very, very serious thing.
Why does he think we care? It's really weird. Like, whenever you say hoax coming out of your mouth, sir, remember the hoax that you're pulling by not releasing the Epstein files. Here's Josh Hawley and CISA, Mrs. CISA. The CISA. Apparently it's something to do with censorship and social media. And he's like, hey, you're the new nominee. Are you going to censor things? And he's like, of course not. We're never going to censor things. We're fucking Team Trump, except for the Epstein files. When it comes to the Epstein files, we're definitely going to censor those.
The most troubling things that we have seen in the last few years when it comes to behavior by the government is the effort by the federal government to coerce and otherwise pressure social media companies to engage in mass censorship of private American citizens across a range of topics: COVID-19, vaccines, elections, school board meetings. And unfortunately, the agency that you've been nominated to lead was right in the thick of it, CISA. Much to that agency's shame, I must say, and I think in direct violation of the First Amendment of the United States, because what the Supreme Court has said over and over is the federal government cannot use private entities to do what the First Amendment bars the federal government from doing. And as you probably know, there's been much litigation about this. The discovery in that litigation is damning for many agencies in the federal government, including CISA. So my question is, what are you going to do to ensure that CISA gets out of the speech regulation business, the surveillance business when it comes to private American citizens, and gets back into what it's supposed to do, which is actually to keep us safe, not to regulate our speech, not to follow us around online, but to be stopping cyber attacks and ensuring cybersecurity?
Senator, thank you for that question. I believe to be an important one, and so does Secretary Noem and President Trump. it is not CISA's job, and nor is it in its authorities to censor or determine the truths, whether it be on social media or in any level of media. CISA will not do any of that work, will not be a part of any of that work if I am confirmed. I'd like to focus CISA on what it's mandated to do, and that's protect the federal civilian executive branch as well as protect the critical infrastructure of the United States.
First, you do the THC, Hunter Biden. Then you do the Juba Berry Sour, Hunter Biden. Then you pull out the meth and you get right. Oh, forgot I was on camera. Here is Andrew Cuomo explaining why he lost to a crazy Muslim man.
What do you need to do differently? What can you do differently than you were doing before?
Yeah, good question, Andrew. First, frankly, in the primary, I made some strategic mistakes. I had a big lead, so I basically played prevent defense. And I wasn't aggressive enough in the campaign. I didn't debunk his ideas. I didn't put forth my affirmative agenda strongly enough. Then on election day, we had an explosion of these under 30-year-old Bernie socialist type, anti-Israel type voters that no one had seen before in history, the proportion that they voted. So that's what happened in the primary. We now go to a general. The general is a different audience. It's a different electorate. It's bigger. It's more moderate. It's more Queens, outer borough. You have independents. You have Republicans voting. So it's a totally different ball game in the general.
Okay.
I like your pitch, Mr. Andrew Cuomo, and here's $1 million. Signed, Bill Gates and Epstein's Island or whatever. Look, Andrew Cuomo, clearly on some Ozempic, looking like a very thin man. Didn't eat any more McDonald's like he was doing during the fucking pandemic. I don't know. Good pitch, man. But at the same time, if you can't win the primary, can you win the... And are you taking away from the black man? Most likely. Still, got my poster on the wall. Team Andrew Cuomo every day of the week. Remember, second week of June, like right around BLM, we solved COVID, signed the poster, we fixed it. It ended June 2020. Anybody telling you that there was any signs of COVID after June 2020 did not read Andrew Cuomo's book or buy this special $20 poster that he signed personally for me that I framed. All about how he fixed COVID in June of 2020. Anyway, Hunter Biden. Every time I drink this, though, I just think there are more toxins in this thing that I don't know what this is than are in crystal meth if I just cooked it. That's what I learned from that Hunter Biden thing, man. He literally did that. Like, I don't know if I've shown the clip yet, but if I haven't shown the clip, you have to show the clip right here and download that shit. I don't give a fuck. We got to show the clip again here.
Is it safer than alcohol? Probably. People think of crack as being dirty. It's the exact opposite. When you make crack, what you're doing is you're burning off all the impurities so that it combines with the sodium bicarbonate, which makes it smokable. That's all. You know, all of these actors and, you know, people in the past that talked about they had a problem with cocaine and freebasing. They were smoking crack.
So straw on the stove is the same thing?
Not exactly, but close to it. But it's a little bit different. But anyway.
Because it's just like, it's crazy to think that I believe that man's claim. Whatever's in this thing is much worse. It says sour mashed. I don't know what that is. It says sour cranberry ale. I don't know what that is. It says gingers and oats. I don't know what that is. It just tastes delicious, but I'll feel bad tomorrow. And I think if I did crystal meth and I did it the right way, like I did crack the right way, like, because I'd be clean. I'd be good about it. I'd be Huntery. I feel like I'd be good. I feel like I'd be Hunter Biden. Here's Alan Dershowitz explaining that Ghislaine Maxwell knows everything. Why are they paying Alan Dershowitz money to talk on Fox News still? There are certain things we can actually do as the public to stop certain behaviors. And one of them is not paying this 86-year-old fucking crazy guy any more money. He's suing people more than goddamn Donald Trump on South Park. Alan Dershowitz is a little bitch pedophile. Come get me. Come see me. Sue me. Get me. Come at me. I would love to make my whole life about you and your fucking pedophilia, Alan Dershowitz. I declare right now, Alan Dershowitz, guaranteed pedophile. Anyway, now on to the clip.
You mentioned Ghislaine Maxwell. She's still got an appeal. I'm tracking at the Supreme Court. But in the meantime, you suggest she should be potentially offered congressional immunity to go and testify. Do you think that would happen? And what kind of information would she have that we haven't seen?
She knows everything. She is the Rosetta Stone. She knows everything. She arranged every single trip with everybody. She knows everything. And if she were just given use immunity, she could be compelled to testify. I'm told that she actually would be willing to testify, and there'd be no reason for her to withhold any information. So I don't see any negative in giving her the kind of use immunity that would compel her to testify. So she ought to be summoned in front of a congressional committee.
I believe Virginia. I believe the manifesto. You should go and read it. Virginia's manifesto from Epstein's Island. This girl was extorted and paid to have sex with Alan Dershowitz. I find it very, like, just riddle me this, people. If Alan Dershowitz is not guilty, why is he thinking Ghislaine Maxwell knows all the answers? I know that sounds like a trick question and all convoluted and whatever else. Let me explain what's really going on here. Ghislaine Maxwell, super spy, youngest kid in the Maxwell dynasty. Maxwells are the show Secession if you mix it with the Trumps and put them in Britain. Okay? Super Jewish, part of the Israel state as well. UK side. Gangster all the way. She's the youngest child of this super spy family. The leading theory basically is that she found Epstein, started building this whole thing with him, used her own connections to get the money to be able to fund the operation to do it with these other high profile individuals with the motivation of blackmailing them. Because, you know, Jeffrey Epstein, as we learned in our last episode, the innocent pedophile, was a pedophile, but was also innocent of the blackmail crimes because he was just a pedophile. When you find a creep, you can exploit the creep very easily for deeper, darker things. And that's what she did. Or so we say. That's the theory, okay? Now, Alan Dershowitz is going on Fox News trying to press into that theory. Yes, she knows everything. Yes, she did this. She can tell you everything Epstein did. But we also know that from Virginia's manifesto that Alan Dershowitz paid Virginia to shut the fuck up and say that Virginia never was messed up. You know what I mean? She actually apologized to him, and then they went their separate ways. But it was clear from her comments after he made his comments after they settled that it was a settlement. Okay? So, I believe Virginia because when you read her manifesto, she is vague on details. When victims that are not true victims play victim, they tend to exacerbate. You know, Amber Heard. Oh, blah, blah, blah. He beat me and then he threw me over the fucking cliff of fucking Niagara Falls. Shit like that. This girl is just kind of like, I was here. I was paid. This guy told me to do this thing. It was really creepy. He had a hard tone, like explaining it. But not acting like a total victim while explaining what happened. And the victim thing is inherent because she was underage while they were paying her and extorting her and doing all these things to her. So this is a crime that's pretty fucking closed and shut. And now Alan Dershowitz is over here pushing this agenda. Why? Because Ghislaine Maxwell does have information. But Ghislaine Maxwell said that she would testify in front of Congress, and Congress said no. But guess what? Ghislaine Maxwell today, actually, as we speak, probably earlier this afternoon, spoke to federal officials. The same people covering up all of these fucking lists and documents and things that don't exist that we're now debating whether they're going to release it or not. Tim Dillon saying, you have to release what you have. Well, that implies, Tim Dillon, that your friends are fucking lying because they said they don't have anything. It's gotten to a game of like, you're retarded if you think that there isn't anything, because everybody that said that there wasn't anything is now talking about what they will or might not do with the things that don't exist. Ghislaine Maxwell is now meeting with federal officials, the same people covering up this crime, and the whole worry now is that she is meeting behind closed doors to create a new plea deal for herself. Hey, maybe it's only 5 years to extort all these women and do this fucking horrible, heinous crime and be the devil and capitalize on a pedophile and his illness. Because that's the thing. That's what it is. Jeffrey Epstein was a mentally ill person, like a retard, like a legitimate retard, like a slow human being, like a Down syndrome kid. A Down syndrome kid that did gross and evil things. And us as a society, we shouldn't like want to kill him or murder him. We should want to find him and lock him up, make sure he can't ever be around children ever again in his whole life, and try to help him not think that way. That's what we should do. But instead, we act like he is mischievous, like he did all of this, like he's conniving. You can't be a fucking crazy extortionist and a pedophile. If you are a pedophile, then you're mentally ill. If you're mentally ill, you're not going to be a good extortionist or spy. Mentally ill people aren't good spies. Okay? So that's where Ghislaine comes in. It's like, it has to fucking be her. It is her. When you read Virginia's manifesto, she talks about how she was the fucking mother hen. The evil one. And like, it's evil. She's the female, the lead. She leads these women into darkness, into the trap, into the mental illness. Here, come into Jeffrey's mental illness. Now that you've experienced Jeffrey's mental illness, let's extort you so we can rule world governments with other men's mental illness and their power and greed. Because that's really what it is when it comes to people like Alan Dershowitz or Donald Trump. That's just greed and power. Tonight sounds like a fun night. What can I do that I haven't done before? Well, they've done everything, right? Becomes that kind of thing. And then when it becomes sex, especially in the 80s and 90s, like, you do whatever you wanted. And it's not like okay, but there needs to be a fine ground between the year, I would say the year 1998, which is like any guy can stick his penis in anything he wants, versus like 2017. Yeah, I would say 2018. The height of wokeness. Right before George Floyd. Right before we had to start doing all the fucking like the minority stuff. Because the Academy changed the rules in 2017, I believe, something like that, right around there. So it all started with Trump, really. So I would say like 17. Like 2017 is when it hit. So watch a movie from 1998 with a lot of sex in it, and then watch a movie from 2017 with a lot of sex in it, if you can even find one. And I bet you there's a wild difference in the what's accepted, like what's considered like acceptance in sex. But anyway, Gillian is the thing that, like, I really am trying to get to the heart of. I know I make jokes. I say wild and ridiculous things that you may or may not agree with. But at the end of the day, I hope you understand how, like, I think it's weird when people immediately cringe on, like, pedophilia and are like, that's the grossest thing. We should murder them and grind them up and turn them into chicken nuggets and then burn the chicken nuggets and then burn them and die. It's like, what are you overcompensating for? There are worse things. Like a toddler having his house dropped upon him and he sits there for 3 to 5 days just bleeding out. His only fucking thoughts of the world, just like, why did this happen to me? There are way worse things than like a 16-year-old girl from Palm Beach being pulled into a extortion masseuse ring where she's paid to have sex with gentlemen that are fucking world leaders and make a bunch of money doing it. I'm not saying it's not a crime. I'm not saying that it's not evil and awful and that they're not victims. But we need to see the levels of things, because that was the problem that we did with the whole Me Too thing. We went immediately from Weinstein to Cosby to Aziz Ansari and said they're all the same. And it's fucking not. So you have to do the same thing here. And that's the root of it. It's like, if you do the same thing here, this is a sextortion ring. And who was the person that was extorting these fucking girls? Ghislaine Maxwell at fucking Mar-a-Lago. And now she's talking to Donald Trump's people behind private doors about a new fucking deal in which she'll go in front of Congress in public and explain that these people were a part of this thing, but not these people. And that's the fucking point. Alan Dershowitz knows that. That's why he's saying this on Fox News. That's what's going on right now in the Trump campaign. Is let's hear you out, Gillian. You know all, right? Well, if you know all, could you redact a few and then tell us the rest so that it feels believable? We'll knock off a few years. No, she deserves more. He was a mentally ill person who was put to rest. She is a fucking world manipulator. Do not let her fucking take advantage of this. God damn, fucking people do not understand how women can fucking do things. They always thinking it's always the man with the power move. The man has the muscle. The muscle is retarded. The woman's the one that can go, boo. I see you, Mr. Pedophile. What if I gave you a bunch of money and said you could have a bunch of friends and have an island and a fucking desert and a this and a that and talk to whoever you wanted? I'll even rub the back of fucking Stephen Hawking under a fucking submarine. She's a crazy person. Gotta stop it. Gotta stop it. Why is this the next clip? Donald Trump posting that Obama should be in jail. Can we stop? You gotta fucking. It is a lobotomy, people. It will be law, except for you and your president. I can't wait until you're done, and then we fucking throw you in the can, buddy. You're definitely in the can. You have too many enemies, and now we realize you're fucking covering things up. You can't say you wanted to play the game the whole time. You can't say that the circles in the grass during the COVID campaign were fake and this is bullshit. And look at my rallies and look at reality versus their fake fucking agenda and blah, blah, blah. And we all believed you. We believed you during 2020 and we believed you during this one. And that's what got you to Joe Rogan. That's what got you to these people, was that everyone believed that the rest of it was inherent bullshit so that you were feeding us something real. And it seems like now you are feeding us AI slop, which is worse than fucking bullshit. Goddamn garbage man. CNN getting hung up on by Donald Trump.
So, Andrew, when you get all this, and all of this, as I just want to emphasize, right, has not been seen before. So you actually called President Trump. You called him directly to ask him about this.
Yeah, we were not on the phone very long. I think our call was about 30 seconds or so. But when I asked him about the wedding photo, he said, he sort of paused for a second and then said, "You've got to be kidding me," before calling CNN fake news and then hanging up on me. Now, in a statement to CNN, White House Communications Director Stephen Chung said this. He said these are nothing more than out of context frame grabs of innocuous videos and pictures of widely attended events to disgustingly infer something nefarious. The fact is that the president kicked him out of his club for being a, quote, creep.
Which is, I guess, the new cool thing for CNN to do. It is crazy because, like, Donald Trump is giving you, like, unfeathered access to him. And, like, to think that you're a journalist and you're, like, calling him up and he's like, well, if they're calling me on the personal line, it's probably, like, some building fell over in fucking goddamn Moscow or some shit. Like, I don't know. But, like, I got to answer this phone, see what CNN needs. Oh, they just need me to answer questions about how I'm a pedophile? No, thank you. No, thank you. CNN? No, thank you. Donald Trump says, see you next Fire Island. A lot of tangents, a lot of craziness. We're going to end on Donald Trump explaining how Tulsi Gabbard found some information about the Russia hoax. Guys, again, until you come out and announce that you're a pedophile, we're really not going to be satisfied.
Director of National Intelligence. Oh, where's Tulsi? She's like hotter than everybody. She's the hottest one in the room right now because she found out with certainty. I think we knew it before, in all fairness, Tulsi, but now you have certainty. She has all the documents. She has everything that you need. And she found out that Barack Hussein Obama led a group of people and they cheated in the elections and they cheated without question. It's not even would you say there's even a little question there, Tulsi? She says no. And you found things that nobody thought we'd ever find. And I'm very happy and very honored to have you with us. She's right now, by far, Speaker, she's hotter than you right now, Speaker. She's the hottest person in the room right now, Speaker. So, Tulsi, great job. And I know you have a lot more coming. She told me you've seen nothing yet. So I heard those rumors about you, but now I know they're true. So we're very proud of you, Tulsi. They cheated so badly, and ultimately it led to a loss in 2020, and it shouldn't have been a loss. It was a big victory. We won by a lot. We had to do it again. But if I thought we lost, I would never have run again. And this is a far more consequential election than it would have been if we did. That's the only thing I can say in favor of it. But we can't ever let that happen again to our country. Look at what.
Oh, guys, this is sad. Okay, so I see what's going on here. Last thing I'll explain, because I didn't talk about this part yet. Apparently, the Speaker of the House went on a right-wing podcast, said that we need answers, said we need to open up these documents through the House, then decided to take a early vacation with the House and said, we don't want to be... And, of course, like, the media is, like, tacking on, like, the factual accuracy of this statement, but they're basically saying, like, he left early so that they wouldn't be able to vote on a bipartisan Epstein bill. I always hold headlines like that with a grain of salt. Listening, hearing a bunch of politics, all that kind of stuff. But then Coffeezilla dropped that he was in agreement with that. And I was like, okay, yeah. It's a fucking crazy thing to say. So here we are. Oh, Mr. Trump. I said it about a week ago. And I'm gonna make this statement clearly public right now on this episode. There is I would say 20 to 50% shot that Donald Trump leaves the Oval Office in the next year. Strategically, he's just better than Biden, I think. And so I think that if he sees that it's all going down no matter what, he would rather lean in on his successor, whoever he chooses, He might even try to make that a whole show. I could see that. Who's gonna be the next president? Because I'm gonna leave. If he I think that might even be better for him than waiting it out and then endorsing somebody. It might not help them really. But picking a kid to run the government might work. Because right now it's not working for him. But that's not what I was going to say is the statement that I need to point out that's going to live on and be accurate. This is the shift, people. I said it last week when it happened, and I'll say it now publicly. This is the shift. It's now cool again. It's now cool again to watch Democratic content and be a Democrat. We're back to the early 2000s of InfoWars, where InfoWars were mostly Democrats that hated George Bush. I'm loving it. Let's keep it going, guys. I like Democrats being smart fucking conspiracy theorists. You're a better conspiracy theorist than you are a Gazan refugee.